you all for sharing. So my name's Jonathan, and for the past 7 years, I've been on a personal mission to really, I guess my mission statement is to inspire creativity, ignite passion, and discover purpose. And so I believe that when we are able to tap into our creative powers, we're able to ignite the passion that's within us and then ultimately leading us to what our purpose is. And so I've been doing this from a near-death experience that I had 7 years ago. I became activated and I started the Aloha Music Project, which then led to the Aloha Movement Project, and then has led to this organization called Education Energy. This particular workshop that we're going to be doing today is called Rites of Passage, and I've had this vision of a workshop where we're able to kind of cultivate our own direction by tapping into the information that is in our Akashic records, that's already within us, and really tapping into that information and listening to what our hearts are telling us, and then really going in and finding where the patterns are in what we value most and what we care about most. And so what we're going to be talking about today is this study and this idea of something called axiology. And axiology is the study of value and how we as individuals attach value to certain ideas. And so we have things that are high on our values list and things that are low on our values list. And we're going to be talking about how when we align our personal mission with what is most high on our values list, that we're able to tap into our creative genius. So this idea of rites of passage is something that I think that many of us have lost in the American tradition. We don't really have too many rites of passage as far as traditional ceremonies go, where you're 12 years old, you become 13, and all of a sudden your grandparents come together with your parents and they do some sort of ritual where you become a man or a woman or something like that. We've kind of lost this. But there's different rites of passage that happen all over the world. For instance, Indians in Quebec, the boys are given a powerful hallucinogen 100 times stronger than LSD. They're put inside of a cage, and then they are expected to purge out any negative thoughts and any bad energy. And apparently, sometimes they lose their mind and completely, which is part of the process. They want to lose anything that has attached onto them. So that's a pretty interesting rite of passage. In the Amazon, men prove their manhood by wearing mittens filled with fire bullet ants. And they wear them for almost 24 hours, and apparently they oftentimes experience seizures and almost die. And they'll even do it more than once to prove their manhood. I'm grateful that we don't have to do that. So we've got these really odd traditions, and I think it's important for us to create our own rites of passage as individuals. So let's talk about this idea of rites of passage. It's an event or act that marks a significant transition in a human's life, or a ceremony that marks somebody's passage from one stage of life to another. Many rites of passage are commonplace in our society and universally accepted, such as bar mitzvahs, quinceañeras, proms, and school graduations. Even so, American society lacks a clear defined event that marks our adolescence. We're going to give ourselves permission to enter into this next phase of our life by writing it. And by doing this, we're giving ourselves permission to focus on what is most important to us as individuals, and really empowering us and guiding us closer to that so that we can be more effective as we forge forward on our mission. We're going to be given a series of questions where we're going to be going inside and answering them. What I want to discuss right now is this idea of our values, and we're just going to really get into this thing called the value structure, or what's called the hierarchy of values. So this list right here is just a list of values. It's a list of priorities. It's your to-do list. At the top of your list is the most important, or the most value. whereas at the bottom is the least value, the least important, the least priority. So every individual has a different set of values, and no two individuals is the same. So in Greek history, they would call this, the high priorities, or your highest values, they would call it telos. And the study of telos, or teleology, was the study of what is most important and what is most valuable to individuals. They had a whole body of work about this because it was so important that they thought that each individual should really study what's most valuable to them. Hundreds of years ago, you would have these guys who were, these amazing artists, these Greek artists who would create these amazing bodies of work. And we still have those people today, but that's who we want to be. We want to be those. We want to tap into that inner genius within ourselves. Whatever's at the top of our priority list is most important. Whatever is at the bottom is least important. Now, when you're working towards things that are high on your value list, when you're doing things that are high on your values list, you're inspired to do it, meaning that it comes from within. So when you're being filled with inspiration, it's something that you don't need other people to tell you to do. It's something that comes naturally. Whereas when you're doing things down here that are least on your values list, you need motivation. So this is extrinsic and this is intrinsic. So when you're inspired to do something, that means that it's higher on your values. Whereas if you need outside motivation to do it, it means it's extrinsic, and you need someone else to be supporting you, which means there's friction there. It's not coming from within. Now, when you live congruently with your highest values and you're inspired from within to do what's most meaningful to you, something amazing happens. You become more disciplined, more reliable, and more focused. And you're also more orderly, and you're more organized. So when you're inspired, when you're doing things that's in alignment with your values, you're more organized, everything's more in order, and you're more in the flow, as you say. So you're more reliable, more focused, more disciplined. And what's highest on your values tends to be what we identify ourselves as. So if someone were to say, "What do you do?" I would say, "I'm an entrepreneur. I like to, start business. I like to create stuff." I would say that I'm a social entrepreneur because I believe that businesses should give back to society. Whereas like if you're a mom of 3 kids, you might say, "I'm a super mom." The things that you do down here, you'll tend to procrastinate, you'll hesitate, and you'll frustrate. Procrastinate, hesitate, and frustrate. Not good feelings. We're also more disorderly and disorganized. So that's procrastinate, hesitate, frustrate, disorder, disorganized. Now, let's just kind of reflect on this model as if this right now were this moment right now, right? This point in the middle is this moment right now. And in any moment, your actions, your personal mission, the things that you're doing could either be according to your highest values or to your lowest values. But either way, you're either going to be disorganized or you're going to be organized. You're going to be disciplined, reliable, and focused, or everything's going to be haywire. You're going to be procrastinating. So you can already kind of see the value. This is your past. This is your future. So right now in this moment, we have this option to live according to our highest values or to our lower values. So you can see by identifying what our true values are, we're able to perform better in our day-to-day lives. This is where it gets really interesting. When we are doing things that are high on our value list, we tend to experience pain and pleasure equally. When you imagine that you're creating a business and you're really excited about creating your business, you run into a little problem, like you have to pay taxes, right? I mean, it's something that sucks, but you're like, screw it, I'll learn how to pay taxes. I will learn how to do this because it's important to me, it's important to my business. When we're doing things that are low on our value scale, we tend to be impulsive about the things that we we go for that's pleasurable, and we tend to avoid pain. So think about this. Like, think about when life sucks, when things are heavy, and your world's crashing around you. What do? You go grab a drink, or you just escape, right? We are impulsive to go towards pleasure, and then we avoid the pain. So we try to just push it away. We tuck it under the rug. And so a lot of times when we run into obstacles, when we're doing things that are not in alignment with our values, a lot of times we will avoid it to the point where over a period of time, it's just slowly breaking us down on the inside. Like, it's not empowering. It's just actually kind of eating away, Whereas when you do things that are painful, that are in alignment, and you overcome them, it builds your confidence. So by being in alignment with your highest values and overcoming this pain, you're building your capacity. You're expanding your ability to overcome challenges, whereas when we're doing things that are not in alignment, it's slowly breaking us down on the inside. And so that's beating down our confidence. So up here, when we're doing this stuff, we're forcing ourselves into a position of leadership. This is where you're expanding your capacity as an individual. Down here, we're becoming followers. We're constricting our capacity. Whereas up here, we're expanding ourselves. You could say that when according to our highest values, we're expanding our consciousness. We expand our consciousness, and here we're constricting consciousness. When we're here, we're the masters of our destiny. And when we're here, we're the victim of our history. So the point of this story is that in any moment, right now, your actions can either be in alignment with your highest values or your lowest values. And I believe that when we align and focus on our highest values, something amazing happens, where all of a sudden, because you're becoming more effective at overcoming obstacles, you're expanding your consciousness, you're able to expand time and space. Your capacity to achieve things becomes greater. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be going inside, and we're going to be searching our values. We're going to be looking at what's highest on our values and our priorities list, so that we can begin to focus more on this stuff and start releasing this stuff. Because when you activate this is where your genius is. This is where you activate the laws of the universe. This is where you activate the law of attraction. Because this is where your angelic self exists. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take out that piece of paper, and we're going to go into these questions. And for each one of these, we're going to be writing 3 different answers. So, for each question, the first question is, how do you fill your personal space? So this is kind of like, what's inside of your room, at your home? Do you have trophies? Do you have things that you're proud of? Things that inspire you? Whatever it may be, we're just going to write 3 things. Okay, how do you spend your time? Are you brainstorming? Are you at the beach? This can be anything, really. It's not necessarily just what you're feeling for your future. It's not just what you love. It's what you actually spend your time doing most. How do you spend your energy? Do you work out? Do you like to ride the bike? Do you explore? Are you an explorer? Think about also what energizes you. Okay, we ready for the next? How do you spend your money? So think about what you spend most of your money on. And it could be in alignment with where you spend your energy. It could be in alignment with what types of activities you do. And you may start to see some overlaps, and that's okay. We want to see those overlaps. Okay, the next question. Where do you have the most order and organization? Yeah. Could be in your research, or writing, teaching, traveling. What inspires you to get organized? Okay, we ready? Number 6. Where are you most reliable, disciplined, and focused? You never have to be reminded from the outside to do the things that you value most. You're inspired within to do these things. Look at activities, relationships, and goals that you're most disciplined. Maybe it's with friends or with people, activities, events. Number 7, what do you think about, and what is your most dominant thoughts? So I'm not talking about like negative self-talk or anything like that, but what thinking about like fantasies or the shoulds, like what you really want to do, the things that you think about doing most for your future. The most common thoughts of what you want out of life. These are also things that you're slowly working towards on a regular basis. Things that you definitely want. Okay, number 8. What do you visualize and realize? So this is not fantasies, but I'm asking about what's surely coming true. So what do you visualize that you're creating? So is it traveling the world? Creating an organization or a business? So number 9 is, what is your internal dialogue? So what do you keep talking to yourself about the most? So not negative self-talk or anything like that, but think about what you desire most, your intentions that actually seem to be coming true and showing some fruits. Okay, number 10. What do you talk about in social settings? So when you're out at the party, what type of people are you hanging out with, and what are you talking about? Okay, number 11. What inspires you? Okay, so moving on, we're almost done. What do you love to learn and read about most?
Oh yeah. Look at pictures. Can everybody see what I found?
I'm reading the articles. Okay, got those 3 things. And then this is our last one. What are the most consistent long-term goals that you set? This could be school, be learning something, creating a giant movement of peace signs, happiness, and so before we go any further, I wanted to quickly tell a story. I do one-on-one coaching with individuals, and I'm a strategy ninja. So I studied business in school, and I really like helping people create lucrative strategies for their businesses. This girl, she's from Portland, and she was going to school when I first started working with her, and she was creating a strategy for how she could use her school research. So that's what we do with Education Energy, is we use our school research projects to build our business so that it's up and running by the time we graduate. So I started to work with her, and then I lost track of her for a long time. And then she called me up and she's like, John, we need to talk. So we set up a meeting, and we had set up this big strategy. It was really awesome. So she called me up, and she was really frustrated because she is in this job. She got hired, she graduated, she got a job working at a design firm. She's got all the skills. She can do AutoCAD, graphic design. She's got all the skills that she needs to be able to do it, but she's not doing it. And we had set up this whole strategy for her to do it, and so we went through and we did this values list again, and what she realized was what she needed to be doing differently. 2 weeks later, we had set up some goals for her to achieve. She called me up and she's like, John, I am so sorry. I wasn't able to do it. And I asked her why, and she's like, well, I don't know. She wanted to do it. She wanted to create this. This is what she wants more than anything, and she just self-destructed. And she was unable to break through. And when you do align yourself with your highest values, it becomes apparent what it is that you need to be doing. Actually doing it is a totally different story. And it's something that I do every day. I know these guys do it every day because I work with them. And I know many of you live the dream. But in order to achieve those super high priority goals, it takes a lot of commitment. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to identify the answers that repeat most, and we're going to make a list. So go ahead and circle the top priorities in your list. Go through and find the top 3, maybe the top 4 or 5. Got it? Nice. Nice. Isn't this fun? Well, since you're ready, Irish Rose, do you want to be the first to share?
My top priorities and values are learning and teaching, specifically anything that has to do with Mother Nature, where to find her, what to do with her. And then the next one was like, it's kind of the same thing. It's just like, okay, anything and everything to do with Mother Nature. So hiking, forest bathing, going swimming, just something outside that's really super fresh. And then this one is weird because I didn't think that it was what was going to happen, but supposedly I'm all obsessed about my soulmate twin flame. Like, I'm like, who are you? Where are you? Get here now. We got some amazing work to do. So those are my top 3 things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, my top priority seems to be building community, but the second word that appears on my list the most is simply experience, broadening experience, reaching the limits of experience, spending my time just noticing experience. So I'm not quite sure how that counts as a value, but mental analysis, qualifications, trying to figure out the world that we live in.
That's a good one, Abner, that last one. Trying to figure things out. And like, that's research. You know, doing research. It's a good one.
I'll help you because supposedly research was a word that came up for me a lot. Help you research.
And there's grants for research. There's or big foundations that could be in alignment with those other values. You know, so you could get like a research grant as a PhD student to do research in alignment with insert the blank. You know. Anyone else who's ready?
So I found that doing my readings is my top value. And then next would be home, family, and travel.
I'm like all over the place. I'm so eclectic and like have so many different things. So it was hard for me to like see like specific words that were like, okay, yeah, this is a commonality. But so what I narrowed it down to is self-actualization and healing, self-sustainability. I really want to like develop a lifestyle where I literally don't need very much money to live. That's one of my goals, and that like encompasses so many different things when you become self-sustainable, like being healthy and making my own clothing or things of that sort. And the third is traveling as well, and music festivals, and that's this summer, and I'm like I'm spending so much time planning this summer. Oh my god. Okay, and then the fourth one is art, and that's like dance, a lot of dance and a lot of music. I really am trying to get myself out on paper, and that's what I've been working on right now.
All right, so my three were ideas and innovation, communication, and education. So I actually tried writing my mission statement. Ending aimlessness, which I began with earlier, but ending aimlessness through helping people and organizations find their identity, focus, and vision.
I had growing as my first one because I'm like always like everything I do I take as a growing experience. Like the fact that we're living in our car right now, I'm learning like how can I grow from this, and anything that comes at me I look at it as an experience that I can grow from. So pretty much anything that happens in my life I take that away from it, and I always try to become bigger and better person. And then I have learning down a lot. Just I love learning about everything. I'm just like obsessed with life and learning about everything. And I also love creating. So I take what I've learned and how I've grown and I create things with it. Like we created an organization back home and I'm in love with it. It's still going and we're here now, so we want to create more here. And I guess that's what I came up with.
Cool.
Yeah.
My most important value is the top of the most important things is studying English in Hawaii.
This is my passion, and this is me turning into my profession. So I appreciate you all being here and supporting me in my vision and being on the way to, my vision and my mission. So that being said, thank you so much for being here. I love you all very much. Aloha.